Hey everybody, and welcome back to Is It Kino, a podcast about the act of cinema, and we've got more Brian De Palma goodness today. And as the title implies, this movie might have predicted the assassination right in the neck of one Charlie Kirkland. And the movie starred a man named Nicolas Cage, which, another coincidence, now the movie's being reviewed by another Cage. It's Eggy Cage!
Oh, listen, that's just Hollywood tricks. I'm not a real Mortal Kombat character. Oh, well, make sure to watch my movie in theaters in February or whenever that's coming out.
And Rusty Cage.
Is that an impression of... Wait, was that an impression of someone? Anyway,
Rusty,
whatever. Hello.
Obviously, you haven't been to the theater in the last 6 months to see the Mortal Kombat movie featuring Johnny Cage and how he's a washed-up has-been just like me. Getting pulled into the nether realm to go to the death tournament, and it sounds just like everything you just said.
Rusty, was your concern that was an impression of you and he was calling you like a caveman sort of character?
I don't know. I mean, well, not to be like a narcissist, but I have to think about myself constantly, and I don't think anyone can do an impression of me. So every time someone does, it's usually very far off.
Maybe by the end of this episode, we'll all do one. But Rusty,
yeah, sure.
Are you starstruck to be on a podcast with, for the first time, I believe, Rich McCoy?
That's right. That's right.
I think
you
so.
mentioned Charlie Kirkland, which I believe is the Costco version of Charlie Kirk.
I only go to Sam's Club. Rusty, are you starstruck? Do you need an autograph?
E-Rich, I know your name through the Simian Jimmy multiverse, but
Sure.
But how? How is the connection? What is the connection?
I've been on Is It Kino for fucking 15 years. How long has it been?
Yeah, I've been collaborating with E-Rich 3 years, probably longer than I have with you, Rusty. Maybe that math adds up.
I'm the OG over here.
Yeah. But he's not as old as Biggs, though. You know Biggs, of course, Rusty.
No.
I've never met Biggs.
But you know of him. You've heard many.
I get to meet Rusty before Biggs. Holy shit.
I try not to meet anyone from the universe. I only know, Simian, Jimmy, and Eggy. And then the other day I met, 2 months ago or whenever, met Hans. So I don't know where the hierarchy is. Who's the most important?
Hans
Biggs.
definitely is number one. We go Hans, and then I guess Biggs for just longevity and size, of course. He's the biggest of the friends. Why does Biggs, the biggest of the friends, simply eat the others is a question I ask myself every day. But Rusty, of course, you're at the bottom of any list, unless it's a list of people who I admire. You wouldn't be on that list at all.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be doing this show. I never know what the show is beforehand. I thought maybe this was a trick like last time where you tricked Low Res into watching the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie. I thought you were tricking me into watching this fucking movie Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be some bait and switch going on here.
And
What's the trick? It's a good movie.
well, here's the thing. This is a good point. I want to bring in a new segment called Judge Eggy, where we have a plaintiff and a defendant, and I'm a lawyer for both of them. I present both sides of the case, and Judge Eggy tells us who is correct. In the case of, is Snake Eyes a good movie? We have two cases presented. If I go to Letterboxd and look up Revan McCoy at Darth Revan 1138, is that correct, E-Rich?
Yeah,
Snake Eyes got a 4-star review that says, just watching this whole movie going, we used to have it so good and we didn't appreciate it. Now, if I pull up my text messages from literally 24 hours and 38 minutes ago, we have a text from Rusty Cage. He says, this movie fucking sucks. Judge Eggy, do you need to hear more arguments from either side?
Well, this all ties back to a thought that I immediately had at the beginning of this podcast where when we're talking about this imitation of Rusty, I thought that Navy Commander Kevin Dunn was very rusty coded in this movie. I can't lie. I mean, Gary Sinise, whatever his difficult to pronounce last name is. I know him from
Sinise.
From NCIS or CSI or whatever that show he was on.
Lieutenant Dan.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, all right. You're right. You're right.
Diane.
You're right. That's true. Very true. He just felt like he was carrying himself rustishly in his cadence and some like his body language. It all felt very Cage-like to me. So maybe Rusty, always get his doppelgangers being portrayed in a villainous manner. Maybe that could be something. I found the film to be very enjoyable. I mean, it had murder, casinos, hot chicks with jiggly boobs, Nicolas Cage doing. I really enjoyed his performance in this film a lot. You can say what you want about it. Was it Shakespearean? I don't know, but I really enjoyed the energy that he brought to this performance. So, of course, you've got De Palma on the storyboard and production and the direction for that matter. The camera scene. I'm going a little bit on a tangent. This will be the last bit here. The scene where the overhead view between the rooms with like the kegger and the dude doing like the freaky sex shit. Incredibly Kino, no doubt about it.
John Wick 4 ripped off De Palma big time.
Oh,
Should we explain what this movie is about for the audience that will never watch it?
We will. I wanted to weigh in that we have a setup here where one of us loved the movie, one of us hated it, and then I wanted to get Eggy's perspective, and then he dove into it, which is good because, as the title implies, again, I think this movie might have been a premonition of the future from De Palma. If I could just read this little synopsis I wrote up here. The political assassination of a man named Charles Kirkland who gets shot in the neck. There's a man named Tyler who doesn't commit the shooting but is hired to take the fall. The real shooter might be it might be somebody Palestinian, but really it's somebody working with the United States government to help Israel get more missiles.
That's right.
That's the plot of this film.
There's a slight difference between the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the assassination of Charles Kirkland. One country did one, the other country did the other. And
well, no, because I think the Palestinian guy, he gets like betrayed immediately by the government guy. I think he was just a patsy, and it was all to help Israel get their new missiles.
Essentially, yeah. It seemed like they were getting a defense system, and they were blaming it on the Palestinian guy, who had no backstory at all. His name was just like Akbu Ben Barak or whatever. I don't know what the fuck his name was.
You throw in Ben and Barak. I think there's a psychological phenomenon going on here I might want to dive into when you're thinking of terrorist names.
Rusty, this guy's name was Tariq. We loved everybody named Tariq.
We
How
love
could you
Tariq.
forget?
This movie fucking sucked. I don't know what happened to Brian Palma. I don't know who he owes money to. How did he go from...
You dropped the duh.
I don't know where did he get the money from? De Palma. What, he dropped it?
Yeah. No, you dropped it. I thought you said Brian Palma, but it's Brian.
Brian De Palma.
De Palma. Yeah.
Wait, so how
Brian
you think this is a fall from grace from what?
Scarface,
which we will be reviewing later this week. Do you want to join in for
what
that
are all
as
the
well?
movies he did?
Mission Impossible.
Sure, I guess I could rewatch Scarface again.
Blowout.
Blowout was a great movie. That was an excellent movie. He had the Untouchables. I think that was De Palma as well.
Mm-hmm.
I could be fucking wrong about that, but he had so many good movies, and I don't understand how a director. You have certain directors who they have a vision of what they're gonna do before they do it, and they're like, I will only take on projects that I know are gonna turn into masterpieces that my name will be attached to. Somehow Brian De Palma just completely failed on this, where he had hit after hit after hit, and then he just takes on some project that was underthought. And I thought this movie was not very good. I thought it was convoluted and kind of annoying to watch. But I will say that I was insanely hungover the day I had to watch it. I met back with
he sent me the text as he was watching it like 8 o'clock at night.
I believe the convolution of it is part of it, is because It's like a noir. It's like it's this corrupt cop gets embroiled into this incredibly complex situation, and a lot of the times in noir, you're kind of not supposed to care about the actual core mystery. It's more about this character falling into something that's like much bigger than something he can comprehend or get his head around for most of the runtime. And then by the end of it, they figured it out and either
did they
fallen into misery or
did they figure it out by the end? Because I feel like they tried to wrap this up super quick. They were on a time crunch, and they had this whole mystery laid out. These characters, they barely developed them at all. They didn't make you feel for any of them. Didn't make you feel for the story. Nicolas Cage was supposed to be the main character who's like this dumb but lovable, corrupt cop. Did they even explain why he was corrupt? Because he was taking money from someone at some point, and he like would shake down bookies, and he was betting on boxing matches. But what was actually his fault? So he was relatively successful, relatively high up in the Atlantic City police department, and he had a family. He had probably had kids. I kind of forget, but he lost it all by uncovering some insane conspiracy.
So here's the way I see the story. He's pretty much a low-level cop doing low-level corruption that doesn't really matter on the grand scale, but he has aspirations to go on and become mayor. So this is potentially, we got this little thing of corruption that could grow and become a really big problem if Nicolas Cage gets what he wants. He has a friend, a childhood friend, who's in the military, high up in the military. And
how high up? Say who he was.
I don't know all the details. You tell me.
He was the commander of the U.S. Navy.
So pretty high up.
So that's about as... That's very high up.
Very high up in terms of power. But he's like the good old boy as far as Nicolas Cage knows. He thinks he's completely squeaky clean. He says, "Oh, I envy you. I wish I had your life." Turns out this guy's high level of military, high level of corruption. He's behind this whole fucking scheme. Nicolas Cage has to come to terms with, okay, I'm low level corruption, low level power. I see my friend who's the exact opposite, high. I have to come to terms with that. He's not who I thought who he was. Take down my own friend, and then in the process of becoming a hero, all my past corruption is is the blanket's thrown off. Everybody can see me for what I've been this whole time, but he's like a renewed man. He's better off for it. He doesn't want to be corrupt anymore. All his skeletons are out of the closet, and he's like a phoenix. He's reborn at the end.
And also, they're getting him involved in the first place because he is corrupt, and because they figure, oh, he'll just work right into this. He'll take the money. He'll go along with it. We've got an in. We've got somebody who will just slot right into what we've got planned.
Is that what he said? Is that what? Was it Dunn? Kevin Dunn was the commander. So Kevin Dunn knew that Nicolas Cage's character was such a weak slime ball that he could just bring him in and he could pay him off why would they bring him in at all?
Because they need somebody who's police, who's not part of the military command structure to be like, oh yeah, I was there, I saw this. When we go to investigate stuff on that local level, we'll just cover up whatever, and we'll say.
And I don't even know if they were planning on Nicolas Cage getting involved, but because his friend was at risk of his job being in jeopardy, since he was not at his post when this politician was shot, Nicolas Cage kind of takes over the investigation as the local police authority and says, okay, I'm locking down the whole casino, nobody can leave. So he really shoves his whole self into the investigation, I think probably against the greater scheme's wishes.
Can we explain what the situation is? So, from what I understand, Nicolas Cage's character, what is his name?
Just call him Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage is the Atlantic
Rick
City...
Santoro.
Rick Santorum.
Rick Santorum.
Yeah, ex-U.S. Senator Rick Santorum, Atlantic City Police. He's going to a boxing match it's the heavyweight championship between Lincoln Tyler, which, we got the name Tyler.
And it's a guy who takes a fall and does not commit the shooting, which, unless you're somebody who believes the official narrative from the Trump administration, aka just a complete retard. I'm thinking
So
maybe
he's at
Tyler
a
did not
boxing
actually
match.
kill anybody in real life.
He's at a boxing match with Commander Kevin Dunn and Defense Secretary Charlie Kirkland, and they're all watching this heavyweight match. When in the final moments, you think that the boxing match is over, a gunshot fires out, and it hits Defense Secretary Charlie Kirkland in the neck. He gets shot. Why would they need Nicolas Cage there? Well, then the investigation ensues of who shot him, why did he get shot, and then all the convolution ensues. But
local police and local law enforcement is going to in some way be in charge of any kind of investigation that happens. So having somebody on the inside of that investigation you think is dirty and you think is going to go along with whatever you say is going to help you.
so he just completely misread his friend that he's known since childhood.
No, Nicolas Cage has a full character arc and actually changes as a human. And I think it's when he meets this, was it a reporter, like a whistleblower, this woman who was right there during the shooting, and then they're trying to catch her.
She's an analyst.
Yeah, I think the story of her and wanting to protect her is what helps motivate Cage to change his ways.
Jimmy, I would like you to explain this plot.
I think it's
Unless you want this to unfold throughout the episode of this show.
No, haven't we laid it out pretty well for the audience? Am I missing anything big?
They're covering up a missile system.
Well, I don't know. Is the nitty gritty of the plot that necessary, Rusty?
In my head, it is, because I was watching it and I was like, what the fuck am I watching? There were so many different areas where I was like, why would they do this? How did this transpire? So a Atlantic City cop is friends with the U.S. Navy commander, and that Navy commander is doing security detail for the defense secretary at a boxing match.
And he's secretly working for Israel to kill this guy who's trying to defund the military, sending missile money to Israel. So like the leader,
who is the commander, Kevin Dunn?
Yeah, Dunn is working for Israel this whole time.
But he's working for his own men because he saw a ship go down before, and 28 men drowned because of the lack of, I don't know, defense weapons that the military had. And so he was going into some convoluted deal in order to assassinate the defense secretary, and then that would pay off a guy who was trying to build a Vegas tower, and somehow he would get rich, and somehow the commander, Kevin Dunn, would get his defense, whatever defense, it's like an Iron Dome, but for America.
Do you think
this is so confusing.
Well, is there any chance that the man who wrote and directed it maybe thought it through enough that just us watching it one time, we're not going to get every detail and understand the complexity of everything that happened? And maybe we should give him the benefit of the doubt here?
No.
I mean, it's a very basic profit motive of trying to silence a whistleblower and silence someone who's trying to shutter a military contract of a project that isn't successful, but they'll say is successful, just so they can keep funneling money into it and keep
Why wasn't it successful?
They showed the two explosions or something like that where it was supposed to go off versus where it actually did go off, and the missile system just doesn't work correctly.
But what even is this thing? Is this like a counter missile defense system?
I think it targets Palestinian children extra good.
I mean, I don't know exactly what it does. It's some kind of missile defense system that they're trying to work on.
It's some secret missile defense system that this commander, Gary Sinise, wants because
he has a dramatic backstory where he had to make a tough decision in a submarine to let 28 men drown rather than the entire ship going down. And that motivates him to think, so if I kill this guy, it's for the greater good and I'll save plenty of Israeli lives. So it's that's the whole point of that backstory, just to explain his motivation as a villain.
And so the femme fatale is...
She tries to fuck Craig from Malcolm in the Middle. Holy shit!
That is him. Holy
Guys,
shit. That's
20 minutes in, we haven't mentioned Craig from Malcolm in the Middle.
Holy fuck.
He tries to get a blowjob. He pulls down his fucking zipper and he's pulling out his dick. It was crazy. 1 year later, he'd be hitting on Lois at the Lucky, what's it called? Lucky Aid?
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that's who that was. He looks so familiar, and his name is like the most stereotypical name. It's Ned something. Like
Ned Munson or something like that.
Yeah, right. Like a Ned Munson.
You thought it should have been named Craig, just so you could recognize him.
Is this an earlier version of Craig that years later would work in that supermarket?
This is 1998 when this movie came out, and I was actually surprised to see that Nicolas Cage, his character was age accurate. She asked him at the end of the movie, not that this really matters, she's like, how old are you? And he's like, 35. He looks like he's fucking 49. Whatever. It's not up to me to judge age, but I was surprised by that.
I've seen Nicolas Cage in the last 15 years. He's looking good here. Much better than he has in the past 20 years.
Fair.
In terms of being convoluted, have you seen the Brian De Palma films Dress to Kill, Body Double, or even Phantom of the Paradise? Because I would argue this one was more comprehensive than those three.
I've not seen those, and I mean, this kind of goes into just my confusion about certain directors. Like, I don't understand how you can make classic masterpieces such as Blowout or Scarface, and then somehow you're stuck making absolute garbage.
But like, there's tons of art in the way he's presenting this. Even if you don't like the plot of the movie, there's tons of great camera work that he's doing. Like in the first scene when it's Nicolas Cage walking through the entire boxing area, like talking to different people, shaking down Luis Guzman, like all of that stuff is done in camera. It's him moving alongside Nicolas Cage as that's happening, and like it's just Nicolas Cage channeling a performance. He is off the wall. He's like saying crazy different shit. He's answering his phone several times. Like that is what De Palma is great at, is just capturing this guy in this moment, just living his life, talking to like 10 different people throughout that whole scene. Like that's a great opener for this movie.
I was impressed by that. I really was, because it almost, and I didn't go back to check, but it almost seemed like it was like a one shot. Where
I don't know that it is one shot, but like it's at least seamless. It seems like he's moving through the entire space, and you're just capturing him moving from point to point to point to point. And yeah. Now
this is it Kino, right? This is what this show is. All right, so here's why I didn't think it was Kino. Is because it was so noisy. It was so noisy. There was like so much going on. You can hear the fight in the background. Everyone's yelling. It's like,
when you have a hangover, it ruins that your pounding headache gets worse.
Yeah, I just want to say, for my record, I felt that it's consistent throughout these repeated references to the particular boxing combo that's going on that then is preceding the gunshots. Like every sound, if you go, I just noticed it, like it was repetitive enough that it locked into my mind that these different recollections of it, the exact order of the punches is always consistent. The noise in the audience, everything's always consistent, regardless of who's recalling and from what angle and things like that. So I did appreciate that.
There's a lot of Nicolas Cage remembering something that he saw earlier in the movie, and then you're showing like different viewpoints and like different details that he's picking up. I think it's so funny. It's so good.
It's one of the more useful strategies when the entire movie takes place. I think the whole movie took place in the same place, right? So to have the exact same boxing match, like Eggy is saying, when we see the woman's perspective and then the other guy's perspective, we get it. In the opening scene with Nicolas Cage, they don't show us the boxing at all. We just hear it happening. I'm like, what the fuck? There's a headbutt and they didn't show it? What are you doing, De Palma? Where's the boxing? Where's the action? But then we're going to see it probably 10 times throughout the rest of the movie. Go ahead, Rusty. I cut you off.
I'm just trying to think of like all the things that I just didn't think made sense, and I think most of it comes down to the fact that they didn't really develop the characters, or they didn't give them enough time to breathe, to where it's like, wait, who is this person? Why does this matter? So they've been friends since early childhood.
I just made that up. I don't know how long they've been friends, but
no, that's what the synopsis said.
Okay.
Well, I think Nicolas Cage even said it later, because eventually what ends up happening is the Tyler Lincoln, the heavyweight champion of the world, who somehow this is tied into Tyler Robinson just because they share the same name, Tyler, one in their two names. He throws the fight in order to make his money back through some sort of like gambling debts that he has. And then he gets recruited by the Navy commander to beat up Nicolas Cage's character because Nicolas Cage is investigating the commander. How did he even get him there? I don't understand. It's like,
you're talking like at the end when the black guy shows up again?
Well, like Nicolas Cage interviews him, and Tyler admits that he threw the fight for money, and somehow there was that redhead woman involved.
Yeah, she's just a distraction. It's just like trying to get. Although it's even just like it's just a reason for him to not be there.
It was a fake distraction for Dunn to leave his post, but she was in on it as well.
Which I thought that was goofy too. His job as the commander, the Navy commander, is to go up and check tickets for the front row of a boxing match.
Because if somebody who isn't supposed to be there gets too close to the man he's protecting, that's no good. And then when he goes up to this strange woman and she takes off running, there's reason for him to maybe chase.
Too busy with my eyes down her shirt, staring at her tits.
But that was a complete lie, because we see later that his perspective that it shows us did not actually happen that way.
No, that's true. So he ends up killing the Palestinian terrorist who was just kind of brought in to be killed.
Which is crazy. He like shoots him through the wall.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, that was a crazy shot. Yeah, he just fires like loosely, but I guess he knew exactly where he was.
Well, as I say, he has to know where he is to shoot him there. So yeah, that's a giveaway that he knows where he is.
And so, of the two females, the redhead was the red herring, and the brunette, who was platinum blonde at one point. First off, why was she even dressed up?
She's wearing a wig. She's like disguising herself, so she can't be like found.
She's an analyst. So she's an analyst that worked on the defense.
Yeah.
And so she just hands the defense secretary a note or whatever, says like it's in your pocket. And they look at that later and they see that this whole defense whatever weapon doesn't really work at all. Which there's like a bunch of emptiness there. So so they have like some faulty. Why is it faulty? Who's in charge of the faultiness? Unexplained.
Rusty, how many movies?
Funneling money into it.
How many movies do you watch per week on average?
A week or in my life? Because I've seen a shit ton of movies.
Like every week, currently, how many movies do you watch? Like 1, 0?
You're not going to convince me that this even deserves a 6.1 out of 10.
I don't care about your opinion at all. I'm genuinely curious because it seems like your opinion of movies. It has to be real. Like, if the movie's not completely realistic, it falls apart for you. And I just wonder if you hate watching movies.
I do. I do hate watching movies. I started hating watching movies about probably during COVID, when I thought I was like, all this is some fucking like there's inner coding mixed in just to like persuade dumb minds. Like, hey, can you follow this? Oh, a bad Palestinian terrorist. Oh, good guys, somehow bad. Like, the plot's just simple enough to be like, I guess I enjoy this. If this was at a hotel, I would turn it on.
It's like Family
and
Guy?
I wouldn't understand it. Yeah. It's like, it doesn't really matter what the plot is because it wasn't good. So then they have... All this is taking place during a tropical storm, Jezebel,
Actually, it's a hurricane.
Eggy, I'm pretty sure you know. No, it wasn't. It was a tropical storm that later was determined to be a hurricane.
No, the black reporter at the very beginning scene. Yeah, she says this is actually a hurricane, but the news wants us to report it as something lesser so that people still go out and spend money. It's like an indictment of capitalism from the film, saying the news media values money over public safety, Rusty.
So who was the fucking retard journalist at the end who was saying, like, I guess it is actually a hurricane after all? Did it just go from a tropical storm to a Category 1 hurricane in the middle of Atlantic City, and that was enough to, like, power a fucking giant globe at one point to, I don't know, what did it even do? It just started rolling, and did it even have any effect in the end? A javelin at one point shatters through a metal door. This should have been a very heavy hurricane or a tornado or something.
The final little bit here where Nicolas Cage like saves the day and the van crashes in and they're all saved from the bad guy
made no sense.
Yeah, it was a little confusing. I was wondering, like, is the hurricane contributing to this at all? Why is the globe rolling here? Did I miss something, or was it just a mess?
Can I explain this part? This actually really, like, I did not like this at all, and I think I might have missed something, but I don't think I did. So this whatever, I'm not going to say convoluted anymore.
You can.
So Nicolas Cage, Atlantic City Police, U.S. Navy Commander, Kevin Dunn, childhood friends. Kevin Dunn turns against Nicolas Cage because Nicolas Cage is not going to be corrupt. And he's not going to help cover up this big plot. So,
and there's this metaphor of blood money, where earlier Nicolas Cage has literal money with blood on it, and he tries to give it to a guy, and the guy says, "No, I don't want that." And then later on, his friend Dunn offers him money again with blood on it, and this is when Nicolas Cage has his turn of heart. Now he's saying, "No, I will not accept literal blood money."
All right, and so Kevin Dunn, what his job is he's trying to hunt down all the loose ends. These are all the people who were involved with the conspiracy who might not keep their mouths shut. This includes the whistleblower. This later includes Nicolas Cage's character. He has to come to the realization that he has to kill his childhood friend, but he also needs him to lead him to the whistleblower, who is hidden in some weird shack on the offskirts of the casino.
Yeah, so that's the only leverage Nicolas Cage has, is that he has hidden and locked this woman away against her will, and that's why they can't kill him. They're like torturing him for the information of where to find her.
Yeah, make sure he can still talk, Kevin Dunn says. So he's following him down the corridor with a gun. They make their way into, like, this storage compartment where the girl is hidden. Somehow, Kevin Dunn gets in there. And then as Nicolas Cage and the femme fatale are escaping into the outside, onto, like, the strip, the fucking Atlantic City police just pull up. They instantly see the U.S. Navy commander holding a gun, and they both pull their guns. This is a ranking issue. This is the U.S. Navy commander, and these are local Atlantic City police holding him at gunpoint. Who even called the police? When did Nicolas Cage have the opportunity to explain this entire conspiracy to the police, or are they really that inept that they're just like, we're going to kill you, Navy commander? And so what does he do? He turns around, and then he shoots himself in the chest.
So something else that's happening is that I believe there's a news crew or television cameras. He's being basically live streamed to everybody, and as far as the world can tell, he's just chasing a helpless woman with a gun and trying to kill her. That's what it looks like. And then, yeah, I guess if you betray Israel in any way, you're better off just suiciding, to be honest.
Well, let's mention this here. Kevin Dunn, he's opening fire because the femme fatale, she's in this she's in this space beyond where him and Nicolas Cage are. Like, they're over here. Nick Cage is all, like, bloody, like, up against the door or whatever. This door's locked. She's on the other side of the door and, like, smashing the handle off to go escape. So he needs to start opening fire because he's got to kill them. Like, that's what he's got to do. But him, like, shooting ends up with, like, a bullet hitting the lock mechanism or something on the door she's trying to get out of. It seemed like either that or she happened to break out at the exact same time that he opens fire. But in any case, as they go through these open doors, then that's when the police vehicle is outside, and so Kevin Dunn is shooting into the windshield, blows the windshield out. That's when the cops, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we're being shot at," and they pull their guns out.
Was that represented in the movie, or is that just on the words of the plot?
All of that.
I don't remember the windshield shattering at all. I don't remember the bullets.
You're asking if he's reading that off of Wikipedia?
I had to.
It's all that's what's happening. He's got they're chasing. There's a chase. You know, he needs to get that girl. She's on the other side of the doors. It's all that stands between him and the girl is Nick Cage. So since he hears her on the other side, doom, 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 to break out, to go escape and run off, he needs to start opening fire to make it happen. To get this cleaned up, but it just happens to be like the doors open at the exact proper moment as the cops are also outside, so he's shooting through their windshield, and that's how it all goes down. And he refuses to go down with the ship, and so he just blows his whole shit up.
So, I mean, realistically, he probably could have, if he'd only just complied with the police, it would have worked out. I'm sure they would have covered it all up. But I guess maybe I missed that part. I thought it was actually a risky move for Nick Cage and the femme fatale to dive underneath the car as it's like smashing into the police vehicle, as it was smashing into the door.
Yeah, and how was that even coordinated? Like, did they know a guy was coming in? It was a little confusing to me as well. We keep saying femme fatale. Did you guys know Brian De Palma has a 2002 movie called Femme Fatale?
Oh, cool.
No.
Does it star Carla Gugino?
It stars Rebecca Romijn and Antonio Banderas.
Oh, all right.
And it's not actually poorly reviewed at all on Letterboxd, so maybe it's good. Are you going to come back for that one?
What's the rating on that?
It's a 3.4 out of 5.
Jesus Christ, what happened?
Snake Eyes is also 3.4. It's just as good as this movie.
Sounds good to me.
That's right.
I guess it's out of 5. That's not terrible. So I didn't like how the police were. Right, so just because the guy is shooting in there, like, wouldn't the police be like, all right, well, this is the Navy, they don't know who this person is, there's no communication between the police, who even called the police? When did Nicolas Cage have the opportunity to call the police and explain all this? Why were they even going there?
Explained that, is that it was what, shots were fired?
Rusty, how many movies do you watch per week, just for fun, for leisure?
I don't watch any movies anymore. I don't watch movies.
He really hates them.
Not good. It makes me mad. This one made me mad because I wanted it to be good, and so what the whole point of you making all of us watch this is that this is the one that supposedly has so many connections to the Charlie Kirk shooting.
Well, if a guy named Charles Kirkland gets shot in the neck in a political assassination, I think that's worth a meme review of a film.
Yeah, and then there was just a guy whose name had Lincoln in it, who was not
the
killer at all.
Name Tyler, who
Tyler,
correct, was not the killer at all. You're finally catching on, Rusty. You're catching on.
The boxing match takes place on September 10th, which
the 19th, I thought. Wasn't that on the Wikipedia? That was like a incorrect statement or incorrect connection, was that it didn't take place on the same day.
You're correct. Yep, all right, my mistake.
No, Eggy, do you know who Jezebel is?
Jezebel Gebergably, the critically acclaimed musical e-punk artist, yes.
That was Al Jolson's wife in that movie we watched together, right? Jezebel?
Well, don't make me look this up, but I will.
The original Jezebel.
What are we looking up? Jezebel?
This was...
It's a racist term for black women?
Hurricane Jezebel was the hurricane that was coming through. Jezebel was the daughter of Tyr and the wife of Ahab, the king of Israel, from the Book of Kings.
Bible. Oh, De Palma, what are you doing? Oh! Wow, the most destructive force ever, huh? What's going on?
Isn't she a famous temptress? Isn't she a famous, like...
I've heard that as
evil
well.
woman? Yeah.
That could be Isabel, I forget.
An anti-war hero named Charles Kirkland goes against Israel, gets murdered by an Israeli who's pretending to be Palestinian, who the assassin is then also killed by an actual Israeli operative who is installed within the United States government as this casino, a hive of, depravity, where Craig from the grocery store is trying to get sucked up by a fainting woman who's bleeding, is getting torn apart by Hurricane Jew wife. Really,
Queen Jew.
This was 18 years ago, or 28 years ago, 27 years ago. Whatever, yeah, that's 27's correct.
Finally, a De Palma film I was alive when it came out. Maybe that's the cutoff for when his movies went to shit, is me being born. Or maybe Rusty being born, since he's his biggest hater.
I mean, I like the Palma. I just like the movies that I like, Let's see his movies.
We've seen most of the good ones at this point, I believe. And if you want to join us for Scarface, we're doing that Friday at 6:30 Eastern. Is that what time I told you guys?
Yes. So you told me.
Yeah. So hop on in. That'll be fun. You guys
I have something to do.
You guys have any final thoughts on Snake Eyes?
Rusty, before we go any deeper into this, I think a lot of the problems you're having are not invalid. I just don't give a shit. Like I don't dissect movies to that degree. I'm more worried about performance. I'm more worried about how the information is conveyed than the information itself. So basically, like, as Nicolas Cage is like remembering this shit, and as he's talking to the wrestler guy, and as he's getting beaten up and stumbling across the whatever that back area is, like, I'm interested in all of that stuff a lot more than the actual plot mechanics. And I think there's a lot of good performances in here. I think the music is funny, even if it's not it's pretty over the top at times, but a lot of that stuff,
something that is probably not relevant to almost anybody's perception of the film, but a lot of the back of house casino operations that I'm intimately familiar with, everything was portrayed very accurately, even at that point. That's like the loading dock where, they would have things like for the boxing match, they would have stuff loaded in and out of that area where the and it does have those doors with the extra levels of security that we see, as I mentioned before, the doors that are broken through that the police are outside of with the shooting and everything. All that is very true and correct because you don't want anybody to be able to sneak into the back of a casino where they can start stealing shit, because that's good stuff to steal back there. So for the record, it's all completely accurate and correct, and I appreciated the attention to detail there.
Well, like how they had the floating blimp camera that just happened to perfectly pick up the image of Commander Kevin Dunn and the Palestinian shooter all in one shot, and the redhead, because it was floating around and perfectly encapsulated that. I mean, that was tight. I get the mechanics don't have to make sense, Erich, but you sound like someone that if a government wrote a narrative on something, you would just go, well, I don't know. It makes sense to me. It all plays out.
There's no connection at all between those things.
Not even 2 hours. This is a crisp hour-and-a-half long movie. In an hour-and-a-half long movie, I'm not expecting it to, like...
Rusty, hypothetically, De Palma could have added 10 minutes of expositional dialogue to fill in all the plot holes and explain every character back connection between each other. But then the movie would be way longer. It would make more sense, but right. It would just be longer and boringer.
Boringer? It's like, all right, I think that the plot could have been more engaging if they maybe did have more time, but maybe the back story wasn't there. It wasn't like, oh damn, if I only had that extra 40 minutes, this could be a masterpiece. Because even at the end,
I don't want that though. I don't care.
All right, then fucking go watch CNN. I don't know what to tell you.
I saw Nicolas Cage fucking solve a thing. He learned a lesson.
What was his lesson? What did he learn? He lost his family. He lost his livelihood because of his corruption after being a hero cop that solved probably the biggest political assassination of their time. Because he took a little cash on this side early in his career, he lost his entire family and went to prison. And he's like, well, I guess that's just another day in Atlantic City.
Well,
I'll catch you in 18 months.
I have a perfect comparison for Rusty.
Study.
I think Rusty would appreciate this.
Interesting.
Imagine a man like Donald Trump. He comes in and he saves America heroically from having a female president twice in a row. This man's a hero, but skeletons in the closet. Some things in his past are catching up with him all of a sudden. Oh, he raped a couple toddlers. Boo-hoo. And everybody forgets the hero stuff. I mean, it's just a realistic story.
All right. You know what? Y'all have changed my mind.
Wow. Heroic.
I think it was a good movie.
We did it.
7.3 out of 10.
Well, but let's see if this will change his mind back. There's another segment. I guess we have to wrap up the other one. Judge Eggy, who wins this court case, actually? Is it... Ooh, my battery's running... Oh, is that why? Oh. I need to plug in my laptop. It's been running weird.
You're running your fucking laptop on a battery?
I forgot to plug it in.
Rusty. You're saying, oh, I don't know. Why would the police show up when the murder of a politician just happened? There's people running around and it's not contained. Oh, a laptop's on a battery?
The police were already there.
Lock in, my man. Lock in.
The FBI was there. The only Atlantic City police was Nicolas Cage. He had no time to call any reinforcements, and he was getting his ass beat, and then he was walking around bloodied, and then all of a sudden, they all just show up out of nowhere.
By the way, my laptop was
shots fired.
My charger was plugged into the laptop, but I guess it got unplugged somehow from the wall. Might have been my cat.
See, that's not a plot hole, Rusty.
Yeah. So hopefully,
his charger was unplugged.
The fact that the computer was a little upset that it was not plugged in the whole time. Hopefully, that did not ruin the quality of this entire hour-long podcast we just did.
I hope not.
Hopefully not. I mean, it looks good on my OBS screen, but hopefully you guys didn't have to endure anything too terrible. Another segment. Eggy, did you pick a winner, by the way?
I mean, I'll agree with E-Rich that, Rusty, he's got his points, but I'm going to agree to disagree with those points, and I will agree to agree with E-Rich's points. So I'm ruling in favor of the defendant, I think.
Does it help that Rusty gave up and said you guys changed my mind?
You didn't, but I'm just saying that to be agreeable.
That's a classic blunder.
Eggy, are you going to end this segment by saying bring in the dancing lobsters?
Let me grab my gavel here, aka my Cobra wand. Bring in the dancing lobsters!
Thank you. And one more segment. It's called Easily Impressed Jess. Me and D-Rich have this old friend that goes way back from a Facebook fan group we were all in, and he's easily impressed by every movie. He only gives 3, 4, and 5-star reviews. So it's basically like the best movie of all time. It's good.
Everything.
Or it's okay, I have to assume. Let's hear what Jess has to say about Snake Eyes. He gave this 4 stars. He says, the movie was panned when it first came out, but I remember really liking it, so I'm glad to see that a lot of the contemporary Letterboxd reviews are also fairly positive. I'm not much of a De Palma fan. I think too often his compulsion for homage strays into areas of just straight plagiarism, but Snake Eyes feels like one of the few movies where he's happy to show off his influences without simply copying as he often does, a conspiracy thriller with a wacko Nick Cage performance at the center of it, and Gary Sinise as his straight man buddy to balance out his energy. Yes, please. Should I keep going?
No,
what
I
the
kind
fuck?
of agree with that.
Yeah, I don't want to.
He always gives 3, 4s, and 5s out of 5?
Yes.
Why not just make it a 1 out of 3 scale? Why not just make it a 1 out of 2 scale? Is it a 1 or is it a 2? Is it bad or is it good? What is the point?
He's easily impressed. He thinks if a movie exists, like it's at least got to be a 3, just the fact that it got made.
I'm not a De Palma fan because of he constantly plagiarizes. What is he talking about? First off. And did he write this movie? He just directed it.
He wrote it.
Who plagiarized it? He wrote the movie?
De Palma did,
What
yeah, I
is
thought
Brian
so.
De Palma?
He wrote it with David Koepp, I think.
All right, I don't know David Capps. Yeah, I guess you have to have like a couple of writers on, but
Do you want to
what
hear?
are the best?
Easily Impressed Jess actually pointed out how the characters' names have some real world coincidences. You want to hear what he has to say?
Yes.
What's that?
2 weird notes about the character names. Gary Sinise's character is named Kevin Dunn, which is bizarre because the character actor Kevin Dunn is in this movie and even interviews Kevin Dunn at one point.
Holy shit.
Very reminiscent also of the Charlie Kirk.
Is that the
assassination.
dad from Transformers? His name is Kevin Dunn?
Also, Nick Cage's character is
It
named
is.
Rick Santoro, so it constantly sounds like people are calling him Rick Santorum.
Who was a very no-name, who gives a fuck, person in our Senate, I think.
So those are the wacky
Pennsylvania
name
Senate.
coincidences he saw in the movie.
Lincoln was also shot.
But he didn't get
Now
shot
you're
in this
thinking
movie,
with,
did he?
No, he didn't. What the fuck is going on with Brian De Palma? I don't understand how you can be really good and really bad.
Well,
At directing
that's
movies.
many directors. That you're talking about how a lot of directors end up is that you have a good streak of like 10 to 15 movies at most, and then it starts going
That's a
downhill.
lot of
the
good
older you
movies.
get.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
all right, but I don't think that's the same way that De Palma had been going. I mean, he did have a lot of good movies, but he also had a lot of bad movies mixed in. Where if you're following someone like Francis Ford Coppola, for instance, uncle of Nicolas Cage, by the way,
That's right.
he lost all his money
Plot hole.
in what was like his early project that he sold all his properties off after his huge successes with Apocalypse Now and The Godfather and whatnot.
One
And he's
from
like,
the
I'm gonna
Heart?
make. I think it was One from the Heart.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it didn't do well, and so then he owed all the studios money, and so then he had to start doing things that he
made
wouldn't
The
normally
Godfather.
do. Well, his movies were still all right, but it was Dracula, and then it was Jack, and Tetra, and then you didn't really see a masterpiece come out of them,
Until Megalopolis.
which I haven't seen yet, but can't wait for that. Is it Kino?
We've already done it.
Rusty,
Oh shit, good.
Rusty, I warn you, please do not watch Megalopolis.
I won't.
If there's anything you do with your life, it should not be that.
Yeah, just based on your issues with this movie, you would hate every minute of that movie.
Uh-huh.
Like, wait, why he can
think it would be
freeze
very
time with his
hot.
superpowers and he never uses it again? What the fuck?
Yeah.
It would be thought provoking. I think it would be. I think Rusty should watch it. I think it would be.
He'd be
something
so
that would
mad.
really make-
Shia
Rusty
LaBeouf.
said
It's long
free
too.
thinkers,
It's way
you know?
longer than this. This is an hour and a half long.
It's
that movie's
twice.
like 2.5 hours.
God, it was a long hour and a half.
And it has a beautiful Adam Driver, and you just you can't take your eyes off the screen with his handsome visage. I think Rusty would agree.
I have to watch some more Adam Driver movies. Just him punching holes in walls and
Go watch Girls.
where?
I mean, you hate movies, and Girls is a TV show, and Eggy told me
Yeah.
it was good, so go check it out. Eggy, did you do tomorrow's One Piece reading yet?
I had not actually. I was going to do
so
that.
in the SBS, Oda says that the character Sanji was actually based on Mr. Pink, Steve Buscemi. So I wonder if in our One Piece Abridged series, if Rusty should have to be the voice of Sanji.
I can do a Steve Buscemi, I think.
I mean, any voice would work, I guess. I mean, Sanji could sound like anything. They make him sound fucking stupid in the live action, I think.
He's supposed to sound like Steve Buscemi too.
No, but wouldn't that be funny?
Okay. It would be pretty funny. Yeah.
Just a small SBS fact that everybody would forget from volume 68. Like, who gives a shit? But just giving Rusty more work to do for free.
Sometimes Oda just says shit.
And also, there was a Columbo reference in the movie. They said Nicolas Cage was a Columbo running around, so the movie gets an extra star from me, which is why it's a 3.5 out of 5.
Are you a big Columbo fan?
Yeah, pretty big.
Hell yeah.
Hell
I like
yeah.
it more than I like the Three Stooges, and I spent a whole week at Rusty's house watching the Three Stooges.
Damn.
You like Columbo more?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so Monkey, just in all honesty, just because I get it, I'm the odd man.
One more
out.
thing. One more thing there.
So Snake Eyes, good movie, enjoyable, watchable.
Yeah, I'd say
you can give it like a 3.5. That doesn't matter.
I would say great. It's a great film.
Okay, that's upsetting to hear.
I definitely feel where Rusty is coming from, that, yeah, the characters aren't the most developed they could be, but it did not, if there was any shallowness to it, it didn't feel to me like it was noticeable or detracted anything from the overall experience of the film. I felt like everybody was as deep as they needed to be. And furthermore, actually, I would say, I think if I would have reviewed this film 2 or 3 years ago, I feel like maybe I would have felt a little more plainly about it. I feel like the not even just the Kirkish themes, but the fact of, you know, the Israeli espionage, I feel like is really a hotter topic now than it has been for most of my life. Probably, like, certain people have said things, but I feel like it's very much in the mainstream now more than ever. So
this used to be stuff that just
fitting.
like it just slipped by in media. We used to just watch this and accept it. All right, yeah, Palestinian terrorist military deals with Israel. This is
Back
run of
to
the mill.
Future isn't Doc giving weapons to the Libyans or something?
Yeah, the Libyans.
Fuck, I forget. Yeah.
But he gave them just a bunch of old pinball machine parts, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Eggy, do you believe this was pre-programming?
They say all, you know, certain people plan stuff out like hundreds of years in advance. I'm like, damn, you know, to be honest, at that point, they probably just deserve to rule the world, because, like, shit, I can't think about shit an hour in advance. They're planning out all this stuff, like all this, they gotta have all this script and all these actors and all this different stuff. Was Charlie Kirk, he's probably like 2 years old when this movie was made, so they're like, hey, in 20 years from now, that guy's gonna be talking about us, and we're gonna like give him all this money to love Israel, and then as soon as he decides he doesn't like Israel, then we're gonna do this, da, da, da. Damn, that's too complex, man. Like, shit, just put the cuffs on, man. Put me in the chains. Put me out in the field. You know what? Fuck it. I'm over it. You know.
Is this movie a form of technology from the evil scientist Yakub?
I want to say
look
yes.
at a picture of Brian De Palma. He looking like a Yakubiite.
Do you guys want to plug anything so we can wrap this up and do maybe some trash writing? If we're going to do another whole podcast, I want to make this one go on too long.
Yeah.
Rusty, do you have anything to plug? I saw... Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, Reverend 1138, check me out there.
Rusty, I saw, I guess the hype feature finally paid off for your new channel. You finally got like a 500,000 view video again.
Oh.
Yeah, hopefully that was the hype feature.
It was
really
definitely
sure.
the hype feature. I saw you were like ranked in the top fucking 20 hypes of the whole website.
All right, I honestly I have no idea. Should we talk about this on this episode? 'Cause I have no idea.
We can do it on Trash Rats in a second if you want.
All right, let's do that.
Okay. Eggy, you want to plug anything? I saw you just did a big old Fortnite stream.
That's right. Epic Games is one big yoke. Homeboy Cool Corgi gave me a $100 bill to play some Fortnite on stream. And I'm like, oh, damn, it's a lot better than it used to be. But make sure you go follow me, YouTube channel at One Egg White. We're going live on there. We got it back earlier this year. I'm getting in the groove. We got TTS and all kinds of fun stuff re-enabled. And follow me on Twitter at 2 Egg White, because for no particular reason, there's no 1 Egg White available.
Peace, people.
Later.
Adios.